Story 1. A Walk Among the Tombstones. Halloween night had settled on a quiet town, casting an atmosphere filled with anticipation and mystery. Our town, though ordinary by day, hid whispered tales of the supernatural that emerged in the cover of darkness. And tonight, the full moon illuminated the old cemetery on the outskirts, a place of many such tales. Now, I've always been intrigued by the unknown, drawn to the mysteries that lurk in the shadows. This particular Halloween seemed like the perfect night to quench my thirst for the supernatural. With each step toward the cemetery, my heart raced, not with fear, but with excitement, a desire to confront the tales I'd heard since childhood. As I wandered deeper into the graveyard, the worn tombstones stood like silent sentinels, each marking a life once lived. The sense of damp earth and fallen leaves surrounded me, and an eerie silence enveloped the space. The only sound, the crunch of gravel beneath my feet, seemed to resonate, amplifying my solitude. But then, in the distance, an ancient mausoleum beckoned. Adorned with elaborate carvings, it held an air of history that sang a haunting melody. Curiosity overpowered me, and I was irresistibly drawn to it. The heavy wooden door creaked open, revealing a dim chamber filled with relics of a time long past. In the center, illuminated by the faintest ray of moonlight, rested a peculiar book on a stone pedestal. The handwritten entries within spoke tales of love, loss, and lives cut short. The words seemed to come alive, painting images of sorrow and despair. But as I delved deeper, the atmosphere shifted. Whispers, barely perceptible, began to fill the room. The air grew charged, and a sense of dread washed over me. Soon, those whispers grew louder. Surrounding me were spectral voices, murmurs of the past that seemed to come from the walls themselves. Panic started to set in as I realized I wasn't alone. From the corners of the room, shadowy figures emerged, their eyes hollow, filled with a yearning from beyond the grave. They approached, their mournful lament echoing around me, their spectral fingers reaching out. In that chilling moment, their stories flooded my senses. Tales of lives cut short, of love torn apart, of promises left unfulfilled. They sought something, perhaps an acknowledgement, a listener, or maybe just a moment of connection with the living. With a surge of adrenaline, I managed to break free, rushing out into the cold night air. The weight of their stories, their longing, and the chilling encounter imprinted upon my soul. As I made my way home, I pondered upon their tales and my own place in the world. That Halloween night, I realized some mysteries might be better left undisturbed. Yet, it also served as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of the past. So, dear listeners, as you hear my tale, remember that some places, like that old graveyard, hold stories and spirits that remind us of the delicate balance between this world and the next. Story 2. The Haunting of Silverwood Manor. On a particularly chilling Halloween, the tales of Silverwood Manor beckoned a group of young adventurers, including myself. Silverwood Manor wasn't just any old mansion. It was a place of whispered legends and spine-chilling stories that many dared not approach, especially on All Hallows' Eve. My friends and I, always on the hunt for the most haunted places, couldn't resist the allure of Silverwood this year. As we neared the grand, imposing wrought iron gates, an unexpected shiver raced down my spine. The moon cast long, eerie shadows on the overgrown path, making the mansion seem even more foreboding. Despite our hesitations, we ventured through the rusted gates. The manor stood tall, its once grandeur now a faded memory. Shattered windows and ivy-covered walls hinted at long-forgotten memories and dark secrets. The groaning front door welcomed us into a world heavy with the sense of dust and decay. We wandered the darkened halls, every creak echoing our steps and amplifying the eerie atmosphere. Our laughter and banter faded as we entered the abandoned ballroom. Hanging by mere threads, the once opulent chandeliers barely lit the room. But it was the dusty antique mirror that drew me in. Its glass, clouded with age, seemed to hide more than just reflections. Unable to resist, I touched the mirror's surface. In an instant, I was transported to another era. The ballroom was alive with laughter and dancing, with guests dressed in finery from a century past. Among them was a woman in a crimson gown, her eyes devoid of warmth. Her whispered warning, "You shouldn't have come here," still sends shivers down my spine. When I return to the present, my friends looked at me in confusion, brushing off my experience as mere imagination. But the manor had more tales to share. We stumbled upon an ancient library, its silence interrupted by a bone-chilling voice warning us to leave. But our curiosity held us captive. The manor's chilling climax awaited us in the master bedroom, where the portrait of the woman from the mirror hung. As realization dawned, the room transformed, and she emerged, her anger palpable. "You've trespassed into my home," she hissed, sealing our fate. The manor's walls closed in, and the temperature dropped. The malevolent presence engulfed us, reminding us of the power of the supernatural. Our once adventurous spirits were now filled with regret and fear. We had sought the mysteries of Silverwood Manor, but the price of that knowledge was more than we ever imagined. As I share this harrowing tale, let it serve as a warning to those who seek the unknown. For the horrors of Silverwood Manor are a reminder that some legends are real, and some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. Story 3. The House Beyond the Mist. Halloween has always been a night of enchantment, when the mundane world gives way to the magical. As a child, I eagerly looked forward to our neighborhood's trick-or-treating adventures. This year, with my friends by my side and our candy bags ready, we embarked on a journey that would take us beyond the familiar streets and into the unknown. Our neighborhood was a tapestry of winding streets, creaky porches, and trees casting eerie shadows, making it the perfect backdrop for Halloween. But this year, an unusual mist had settled, thick and heavy, obscuring our path and enveloping the night in a shroud of mystery. Our first stop was the Whitaker House, a grand Victorian mansion known for its extravagant Halloween decorations and generous candy. But something was amiss. The once welcoming Whitaker home was now shrouded in silence, with no sign of life. Puzzled, we moved on, but the Thompsons' quaint cottage was also eerily quiet. House after house, the neighborhood that once buzzed with Halloween spirit now seemed abandoned. The mist grew denser, and our familiar path twisted in unfamiliar ways. It led us to a house we'd never seen before, a dilapidated mansion hidden behind a veil of overgrowth. An aura of foreboding surrounded it, but our youthful curiosity propelled us forward. Inside, the house whispered tales of days long past. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and each room told a story of a time forgotten. But it was in the living room that our adventure took a chilling turn. A tall, gaunt figure stood in the shadows, its eyes piercing the gloom with a malevolent light. As we tried to comprehend this spectral presence, it whispered tales of sorrow and longing from the depths of the past. We were entrapped, not by walls or doors, but by the weight of the stories and the unyielding gaze of the figure. Desperate to escape, we navigated the maze-like corridors of the mansion. The mist outside seemed to close in on us, masking our escape route. But as we stumbled through the fog, the familiar sights of our neighborhood began to emerge. We had returned from the house beyond the mist, but the memories of that night would forever linger. It was a stark reminder that on Halloween, the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary blurs, revealing mysteries that are sometimes better left unexplored. As I share this tale, remember that beyond the mist lies a world where the impossible becomes possible, and some adventures leave an indelible mark on our souls, reminding us of the magic and mystery of Halloween.